Hey, let me do a book review of Shit Actually, a 100% objective, complete compendium of cinema by Lindy West, and that subtitle was probably completely mangled. It is a 2020 book, that was definitely recorded during the pandemic that we are still in right now, and has many traces in it of Lindy West having little asides of what shit, crap, fuckhead stuff Trump is up to at that particular moment as he rides the American government into over 500,000 Americans dead of COVID and the economy fucked up and various other stuff. And then she doesn't even get to get the little coda of the insurrection on January the 6th of 2021. But yes, this is mostly her rewatching some movies for the first time, kind of beloved or semi-beloved or just notorious or insignificant works of popular cinema, starting off with Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones in, my God, my brain has gone blank. The Fugitive, which she is going to use. She uses as the measuring post on which to measure all other movies. She gives the movies however many fugitive DVDs out of what? The Fugitive itself getting 13, I believe, fugitives out of 10. And goes through movies, some of which she's actually fairly fond of, some of which she finds pretty fucking horrible. Love Actually, giving the title of this piece, of this collection, Shit Actually. I'm not really going to go through the movies, except to say there's a certain kind of a formula to how she does these follows these movies. She kind of gives a bit of context at the beginning, and then she just rides that motherfucker movie through, recapping it in hilarious fashion, with many incisive, witty asides. Love Actually being one of these. It's a movie for women written by a guy, and that's sort of sums it up right there, where women don't actually get to talk, aren't particularly human beings. There's definitely kind of the themes of all the fat shaming in a lot of these movies. The thing of how it was just totally okay to make fun of someone from a foreign country for how they were talking. Defending her love for Rush Hour, even while at the same time pillorying quite justly Brett Ratner for his numerous allegations of sexual, I think it's allegations at this point, of sexual assault. It's an interesting way for Lindsay West to kind of reflect on our 2020 attitudes towards stuff and the situation we find ourselves in at the moment, through the lens of movies that she has watched as a kid, or is watching for the first time. I think she watched Terminator 2 for the first time and actually enjoyed herself while poking it full of complete holes at the same time. And so I really don't have much to say, which is why I'm just doing my review here. I really enjoyed these. There is a thing about it being the formula. I tried to slow down because it's candy in a way. These are total fun, hilarious things to listen to. However, it also gets a little overwhelming when you're mainlining it so quickly, as one has a tendency to do when one is listening to it to and from work and stuff like that. And at the same time, also I listen to a lot of podcasts where people are reviewing movies. And what she's doing is more of a satirical entertainment. You know, it's like it can be super thoughtful and interesting as a stand-up, but it's kind of a stand-up versus when I go to movie reviewers talking about stuff. You know, it's usually two movie reviewers are having a bit of a give and take. They argue about it. They kind of elucidate different points. I mean, she has her themes, you know, this crazy idea that women should actually be respected as functioning human beings, that maybe, you know, fat people should be given their dignity, that white male rage was once seen as a very valid thing. And, you know, Dennis Hopper is this angry guy who wasn't getting big enough of a pension and is going to take it out on all these kind of poor working stiffs, a lot of whom are not white people, on a bus. Seems sort of semi-prescient. You know, that something like an ensemble comedy like American Pie, which she truly rips apart for things, finds it quite acceptable to have an all-white dude, white male cast where none of them particularly, you know, are any different than the other. You know, and this whole thing of like this need to, like, you know, this declaration that all straight white guys deserve to have women allow them to fuck them, is like, oh, this seems to have been a thing. This movie popularized the terminologies of MILF and cuck, and it's like, shit, this feels like ground zero for popular culture, and how angry white guys not getting laid turned into a weaponized kind of movement against the rest of reactionary movement against society. Yeah. So she's got a lot of really interesting, cool points done in a very funny way. She reads the book herself and does insert things about, you know, what the hell, you know, Trump recommending people to inject bleach into their skin. You know, he's just spitballing here. You don't need to take him seriously. He's just president of the United States. Except a lot of people did take him very seriously and still are taking him very seriously, even after he's been turfed out of office and failed, had his failed second impeachment because Republicans just don't want to take any responsibility for it, and you know, don't want to anger the crazed base that he has weaponized. A lot of weaponization. Yeah. So it's a movie about rewatching. It's a book about rewatching old movies, but it's saying a lot about what's formed this very present moment. So while it's not my most, I still really prefer Shrill to this book, just because as a form, I think I find Lindy West more interesting doing her kind of personal essays than what seems like a bit of a kind of a parlor trick. Like, this is her roots of, like, as a kind of a hard-bitten kind of like, this is how I kind of dug my way out of the trenches writing these, you know, for pay funny movie reviews. Now she's actually getting to write kind of like, you know, gets to write essays. Though it's interestingly, you can definitely see a through line between, you know, essays on, you know, having white enraged males come at her through the internet and all this rage, and actually meeting one of these guys who was like her worst attackers, who used her father's death against her, and actually meeting this guy and talking to him, and how interesting of an essay that is. Well, it's like her talking about American Pie is actually sort of in the same field. It's the same in the trenches sociology, but done really wittily and savagely and lightheartedly. And yeah, more power to her. I will definitely read more of her stuff. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, that was my non-review of Shit Actually by Lindy West. More videos later.